Hey now, thank you for hanging out with us. It's your old pals, Shram and Cash. That's right. It is Derby Rock's radio show and podcast.
Hey,
Hi.
hey.
Happy Thursday. It's actually Thursday. We are rarely live anymore. We're not going to sugarcoat it,
Yeah, we got weather and traffic on the 11s, okay?
Yeah. I guess I'm probably gonna assume um after we get done paying for like this cycle of studio sessions, we should probably just wrap up our time in the studio, if I'm being realistic. No disrespect to 106.3 WRFZ, but when was the last time we were really even there? It's been like 2 months now.
Been a while, yeah, yeah.
But hey, we're here. We're still doing the thing. We're live from the comfort of our own homes. So whatever, we're doing it. It's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. How are you, Cash man? It's great to see you.
It's been a tumultuous we'll say a couple of weeks. So
Sure. I'm right there with you. This show might be one of those like good shows that is also like just sad and like a total bitch fest because I everything in my world is breaking this week, so I'm right there with you. Um,
well, you want to I could talk. I've got
I
an
mean, I'm
absolute.
sure you've got enough going on with like family and this and that, so it's certainly not a contest. But we will get to our weeks here in a little bit, so you'll hear our gripes and our complaints and all that good stuff. We'll depending on how long we gab for, we might have an interview in the next segment. We'll probably get to some scores, maybe. I don't know. The show is changing because we don't do this weekly anymore. I feel like we have a bit more to talk about in between. I want to say actually one of the very last show that we did was the first time in a million years or ever, maybe for that matter, that we didn't really have an interview.
Yeah,
Even if we replayed, something, we've always had an interview.
yeah,
And I actually really enjoyed it. It felt like we had reasonable stuff to talk about. We got into a little bit of like the messy side of roller derby these days without slinging too much mud.
yeah.
But we did get to, we had a great show and we had a great talk, and I really enjoyed it. That was one of my favorite episodes recently, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And it was like we had so much to talk about that slowly but surely the any interview time was disappearing. So,
Yeah.
and it's not bad. Every once in a while, I'll do that. It's not. I don't think it's bad. When like I think when we first started doing the show years and years and years ago, we didn't have guests on at least for like the first 10 or so shows. We did talk more rules and things like that. And
Sure, yeah, you had like your rule segment, then
yeah.
I think there was like four of you, so when you guys were doing your weeks, it might have went a little bit long.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Well, and I don't even know if we did our weeks, but we did. There was so much action going on that there was like a lot of stuff to talk about, So it was, yeah. But
sure.
you know what? But I thought, yeah, I felt the last show. It's like, we got to talk about some serious stuff, so it was pretty cool. And it was like we almost like interviewed ourselves. You think about
Yeah, I mean,
it.
we've had between the two of us, we've probably had close to like 25 years of a derby career now.
Yeah,
I think we've got, some reasonable opinions. I'm not going to say they're always the best or they're always right. That's for sure. But I will say I think, um, there's a fair amount of for us to say that's like valid stuff. So yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a great show.
yeah.
If you didn't check it out, go back and check it out wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Make sure you're liking or following or thumbs upping or whatever you're doing. Share the pages, all that stuff. If you enjoy what you're listening to, you can always leave us a review. That helps with traction and stuff like that too. So don't be shy. Interact with us.
Yeah, we might have some new listeners because I was promoting the show while I was up at playoffs.
Attaboy.
Yeah, so and
Hey,
it's like there's a lot of my co-announcers maybe have never heard it or maybe may have heard of it, but now they can put,
you can
a
put a
face.
name with the face or a face
Yeah.
with the name kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so who
Sure.
knows?
We are like promo sluts. I will give us that. I remember, I forget where it was. I think it was roller derby tournament, or it was one of the events that we had in Cleveland where I pretty much just took over the broadcast and made like everything the roller derby. It was like the roller derby jam line, then it was like the penalty box brought to you by Derby Rocks and this, that, and the other thing. So it was just like literally everything roller derby was brought to you by Derby Rocks that weekend as often as I could get on the mic, and it was a ton of fun. So I have certainly hijacked entire events to
Well,
promote our silly
what's
podcast.
interesting is I didn't even start by promoting it, but when I was on a stream call, the people in the chat room were promoting it. So
Nice,
yeah,
love that.
our friends who listened that were in the chat room, it's like, and then
Very cool.
people were saying, "What's this Derby Rocks thing spelled incorrectly?" And it's like, oh,
Well, that's like how the cool kids do,
yeah.
don't you?
So that was cool. I think that was like, oh, it's probably Johnny Pepper. It's like
Sure.
it may have been. So but I'll be honest with you. I am not a big fan of reading comments while I'm doing play by play or even stream calling a game because it's very distracting. Okay, and it's like
So,
unless I make a huge mistake.
yeah, I guess like I also feel like you might be a sensitive fella. So were people
Me?
being jerks? Yeah.
Yeah, I've had that. I've had issues before. Yeah, yeah. Yes, I'll admit to it just once, but I didn't like like lose it. I just kind of like sat there and beat myself up for a while. So that you know,
So we are typically unpaid announcers, you know.
yeah.
So just kind of keep that in mind that, people aren't doing what you're doing. And even if they are, they might have their own way of doing things, but the way that you do things is totally valid too. Um, I almost prefer not to read the comments in a case like that because if somebody says something, I know me and I have a hard time to not respond or to not get smart or whatever. So, yeah. Do yourself a favor and stay out of the chat room when you until you're done at least.
Well, I will say that there during my week I'll talk about reading the I read the stream and it wasn't there's nothing bad, but it was like sometimes it gives me a little perspective of like, oh yeah, we're hearing you, stuff like that. It's like so, my commentary is going out there, and the bad dad jokes as well. So, but yeah,
Well, I think, it's important to recognize the bad dad jokes. We love the bad dad jokes.
without a doubt. But yeah, yeah,
That's like the Cashman thing, you know what I mean? Like if not for bad hokey gimmicks sort of, that's your thing. My thing is like being very I don't want to say dark about it, but I'm not, a ray of sunshine when I'm doing announcing. I'm very matter of fact.
gotcha.
Like Wrecking Bill has the habit of literally telling people if they're doing poorly or not. He'll like call you out on the stream and
Oh,
stuff like
I
that.
talked about Wrecking Bill the last week when I was up in champs or up at the playoffs because I said we all are telling our stories about working with other people, and I said, I worked with Wrecking Bill and I didn't have headphones on, and so I couldn't hear what he was saying, but he wasn't stopping, so I had to pick and choose when I was going to be able to get in. And it was
I
like he
love
said,
that guy. He can talk and talk.
and everybody else said that's Wrecking Bill.
Yeah,
It's like they all
right.
worked with them, so it's like okay. So I think that was some fun stuff. It was like it was neat to to compare working with other people and seeing how what they felt, and it was just fun. I thought it was a funny story. I love Wrecking Bill. Don't get me wrong, he is
No, of course.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's like I
No,
read.
he's a talker. He'll tell you the same thing. He is definitely a talker.
Yep, he told me that before he said it. He's like, listen, I'm going to keep going, and it's like you got to get. It's like I got you, okay. And it's like, but yeah, so yeah, that I had a lot of announcing in the last couple of weeks, so it's been
Good, good. Well, why don't we hop into it, man? We've been talking a few minutes, or well, wait, let's first take a second, take a beat. Um, there are a lot of feelings, opinions, things continually happening right now. The big thing is like posting anonymous in our Facebook groups, and just kind of saying literally whatever you feel is appropriate, and that's all well and good.
yeah.
But man, it's a mess right now. So let's just take a beat. Remember that we're all human. We're all trying to navigate this sport. We're all trying to navigate life. It is a tough time. So piling on and not being a productive or contributive member of roller derby
Yeah.
isn't really doing anything. If all you're doing is slinging mud for the sake of slinging mud, you're
If
not
all if
really,
yeah, if all you're doing is posting rosters for teams and say,
yeah.
notice anything?
Yeah, right. Yep. Yep. He's not there. We got it. Right. They removed him.
Yeah.
Yep. They did
Yep.
what you wanted them to do. So,
Yeah.
right. Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly. So there's that intention you ordered. We talked about you on the radio now. Very cool. So yeah, it's just like and this is in no way a like defense of the person or their actions or any of that, but it's also just like you're not being helpful. You're not doing anything to add productivity to the conversation. You're just pointing out a change that people wanted.
Yeah.
So whatever, yeah, that's just one instance, but yeah, there's a lot of not being helpful in Derby right now.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of mudslinging and a lot of finger pointing and a lot of people in glass houses who definitely shouldn't be throwing stones but are. Keep that in mind. Take a second, take a beat. Um, Try and relax. I don't know. There's way bigger things to worry about than Derby.
Yeah.
And this is not to say that some of the problems that we have within Derby are not the biggest effing problems you can have because they are. Um, so yeah, this is not me minimizing, but also take a beat. Don't post anonymously on Derby Hell every chance you get. It's okay. Not every thought that we have needs to be heard by everybody else, and that's all right too.
Did you ever think someday we'll just do the show where we just burn the place down? You know,
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. Like, I really do.
just burn the
Um,
place down.
yeah, I'm hoping, whether we do it, soon or in the far future, whenever it is time. Yeah, I'm gonna light that match and
This will
walk
be the
away.
last show.
Yeah,
Boom.
take
Burn
care.
it
All right.
down.
See you when I see you. If you don't like it, come fight me, you
I
know?
almost thought we had that at one point a couple of years ago, but when we were talking about a
Were
team in
we talking
Pennsylvania.
Scranton?
Yes.
Yeah, that was particularly bad interview. That wasn't our fault though.
No, no, no.
We didn't say the thing. We just existed in the thing. But
Just-
again, that's another situation where
Yeah.
it wasn't a helpful dialogue. I digress. Whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
I felt we stoked the fire just a little bit, you
yeah, I
know?
mean, no, we 100% did. Of course we did.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
Folks,
didn't
go back
say
and
it. We
listen to
weren't
them.
the one.
You can find it. Go
Yeah,
back and
it's out
listen.
there. It's
Yeah.
horrific, but it's out there.
Yeah.
It's out there. We
Yeah.
love them.
For you
Yeah.
new listeners who've never heard of us before, and now this is your first time listening,
Yeah, that's great.
you
Yeah.
know, there could be a few
Awesome.
out there. So,
Yeah, there's definitely a few.
yeah,
There's at least a couple.
yeah,
So, um, yeah, I don't know. With that being said, like, just be kind. We're doing it. Not everything needs its own Facebook post. Not everything needs to be said out loud or typed out. So yeah, I don't know. With that being said, why don't we move? Oh, the weather. Geez, what am I forgetting? It's the
yeah.
weather, man. It is crazy. We've been dealing with rain and wind. It's really wild today. But again, we're getting like going from very hot weeks to like a freezing cold week. We went from 90 to 60 again, and it is just crazy. So, that is the weather report.
There we go. Yeah, yeah.
Tell me
Yeah.
all about your week, man, and or
Okay.
all about your weeks.
It's been a couple weeks. So the last
Yeah,
we talked, I was about to hop in the
yeah, you
tracks.
were leaving like the next day.
Yeah, hop in the track. Well, I had two things. One, I had to go see Triumph in concert,
Mhm.
which I did, and they were really solid. They only drew about 6,000 at Darien Lake, but it was they played. They were awesome. They were really solid, and kudos to them. It's fun. I mean, the guy I was with got us down to within the 10 rows from the stage, and thank you, Chunk.
Did you
And
just like walk down there? How'd you get down there?
I don't know if I should. I don't.
No, I mean, I'm not a cop. Like
Okay,
nobody's
so
gonna hear.
there was a lady who was a security person who shook my hand, and when my hand came back from her hand, I had a a special colored bracelet in my hand.
Ah, nice, very cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah, no, we've got some good people who work there.
yeah.
I think
That was
that's
very,
pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. Allows to every time.
Especially for like a show like that when it's like not sold out too
Yeah.
crazy or anything like
I
that.
would have hooked up with you if I went up that front that close to the front because I have a feeling I was never going to be able to get back in there. So I stayed up in the front there. But it was a good show. It was like April Wine and Triumph. I know some old bands that
I was
Triumph,
gonna say I'd never heard of what is it, April Wine?
April Wine, yeah. Sign of the Gypsy Queen, take your things and leave. They also did Just Between You and Me. It was like a kind of a rock anthem in the 60s.
Yeah,
So
I got nothing, brother.
that's okay. Now that's why there was 6,000 people there. Okay. So, but then the next day, I went to, I visited my mom. My mom was in a rehab facility, coming back from, I think she might, I thought she had pneumonia, but I don't know. I don't think she could have gotten past it that quickly. She did fall a couple times though. And she was at rehab when I got to visit her, and I was like leaving straight for Canada right after that because I had to go to Waterloo, Ontario for the divisional playoffs, WFTDA divisional playoffs. And so it was nice to see her. She recognized me. She's 91. She's going to be 92 soon. And but just having a rough time recently. And she did get home. She's home now. She's back living at home, so that's a big plus. But then I went to Waterloo, Ontario, about 3 hours. It didn't take me that long to get there. It was pretty easy. Got across the border between Canada and the United States without being turned around because I'm an American. Barely even talked to, which I like. And it was
Well, on
like
the way in, they don't really care.
they
It's
didn't
on the
care
way.
on the way back either. I mean, it was a
That's
Sunday
good.
at 10 o'clock at night though, but it was.
It's and you're respectfully, you're like a harmless looking white guy.
Yeah, 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 I know. I've got so much going for me. So, sorry, no, that's a bad joke. You're like Gary Goldman or one of these comedians. So,
That's
um, so,
great.
so I got to go up there. I was kept busy. First day, I was involved in four of the five games that were going on, including calling the first arena call of the very first game, which was
Nice.
awesome. And then I finished the night by calling Queen City and Vancouver, which was the last game of the day on the stream. That was fantastic. We had, I mean, the overall the rankings pretty much dictated where the people fell, and only one team was going to go be to the championships after this. So you had to win the whole thing.
Gotcha.
Calgary, like I said, Calgary or Vancouver upset. It was 11, and in the first round, 11 beat a five. That was the biggest upset in any of the tournaments so far this tournament year. So 11 beating a five, completely took. But the Sexpos were also I believe, Montreal's B team. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's still a pretty big upset, but yeah, Montreal's B team is obviously better than a fair amount of A teams. You know,
yeah,
one of those B teams that's just unbelievable.
yeah. So Vancouver, they're because they beat the Sexpos, they got to play Queen City, and Queen City beat them to move on. Queen City had to win. They had to win one, two, three games to get to the championship. They had won one, and then but then they played the number two seed Calgary in the next round, and two seed Calgary was a tough team, man. They came ready. In fact, they won the whole thing. So they beat Queen City. Queen City
I
ended up
was gonna
winning.
say it's hard to be upset about losing to the team that wins, you know.
Oh, you're right. And Queen City ended up getting third and getting the bronze. And I was so happy for my friends in Queen
Yeah.
City. I got to hang out with all of them. I was very happy for them. They got to wear medals. They got to take them home with them. Shady from Rock City.
Yeah, we love them. No, that's awesome. Good
Yeah, it
friends
was.
in Queen City.
Yeah, and so, but the final game was the Montreal Skids, who obviously were the number one ranked team, taking on Calgary, and the Skids lost to Calgary, but it was like the incredible defensive game for the championship. It was, I mean, both those teams' defenses were stifling. It was really some great roller derby, but I got to do some fun stuff. Like if you may have seen on our Facebook page, I posted. Lloyd from what the heck is his company name? He does all the videos and stuff. Lloyd Knox.
Squad,
What's that?
hit squad.
Hit Squad made he made this video about announcers that focused on me because I was doing the first game that day, and and it was like a resume video. It was the coolest thing. And it was like, man, I said, you make me look good, dude. You made me look
Yeah,
good.
Lloyd's the best, man. I love that guy.
Lloyd is great. He was a great addition. He was like the social media guy, did everything there. It was really neat because if I wasn't working, sometimes I was doing I produced a few games too on the stream. So I would like keep stats and I would pass on trends and things like that to the announcers on the air. And that's I've done
Sure.
that. Bobby Narco taught me how to do that years ago at
I remember
ECW.
he came up with like the producer sheet. I remember that.
Yep, Bobby Narco taught me that, and I gave him credit for it as well. But the thing about that is when you were the producer for the stream game, you did the post game interview. And so you had to, as soon as you were done, you had to get up and you had to grab somebody from one of the teams and interview them. And so I did that a bunch of times, and I had some really, really good interviews with people after games. It was like this one Orlando skater, or no, sorry, SoCal skater. She was kind of crying because we were taught. I asked her like, I talked about the game a little bit, and she goes, I've been in this sport for 20 years, and this is the first time I ever made the playoffs. And she was like getting weepy. And as soon as we got done, Lloyd's like, that's exactly what we want for this stuff.
Sure.
So I got to do some stuff like that was cool. I mean, nobody handed me questions. It was all things I had to think about, before doing this
Well,
show.
you got plenty of
Yeah,
experience.
I was gonna doing this show. We ask a lot of things, so it's like, but yeah.
Did you
So,
have like a favorite? What was your favorite game that you worked on?
I think I don't know. There were so many good ones. I really enjoyed Orlando and Angel Rocket Queens. That was the very first game I did on the arena
Sure.
call, and that was one of my favorites. But I also really enjoyed anytime I could call Queen City. And I was involved. I think in two of the calls on that. I definitely did the stream on their first game against Vancouver, which was the last game on Friday, and I think I did the arena call against Calgary, which is disappointing because it was really a blowout, unfortunately. But
I
I,
mean, it happens
yeah,
sometimes,
yeah,
especially with some of those like buys and how it all shakes out and things like that.
yeah. So I think I mean, every game was a blast, and I was happy and appreciative of every game I could do. And there was so many cool people. I never met I knew two people who were announcers of
Which two?
that would be Lightning Slim from Tri City, and Lightning Slim had pretty much, I think, been retired until he came back, and then PR Armageddon, who's from Big Easy down in New Orleans.
Have we had them on the show before?
We've had neither of them on the show before, and Pierre
Huh.
Mageddon it was his first time uh, uh, being a tournament head announcer, and so
Nice.
yeah, and I'm glad I met PR at ECDX years ago,
Gotcha.
and that's how we all and we really we called the game together and we clicked, and so he knew kind of what I could do, and so which was
Sure.
great. And then the other announcers were there was two from Texas and with a wrestling connection. The one of the announcers, Shady, her name was Shady as well. Actually, as a part owner of an independent wrestling federation in Texas that my friend Rob, who I do the pain clinic with, knows or knows of.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there was a lot of neat connections. And it was, I got to announce with a lady who was from Calgary, one from Montreal. It was
Sure, all over the place.
Yeah, it was a great. They're very young announcers who really did great jobs. This might be their second or third year doing it, and they were brought in. So it was a blast. I appreciate everybody. Everybody was so nice, and we all complimented each other. And but it was a lot of work. It was like every day. I got one game off on the last day, and that was the final game, and so I got to watch that. And that was just a fantastic game and I wish I would love to have called it, but man, I definitely enjoyed watching it. And that was just a great weekend. It was so much fun. I hated to go home, but I had to because I had to go to work the
I
next
mean,
day.
yeah, what else are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, you know, it's so much. It's crazy. Is up there. It's up. There's just not that far from Toronto, and it's like World Cup fever up there, big time. They have signs above the street saying, "Beware traffic. Try to carpool because of the World Cup." Because it was just starting less than a week after
Right.
we were there. So, yeah, it was a great experience. I don't think I ate much the whole weekend, but they provided the food. Tri-City were great hosts. They had a room full with a table that they kept replenishing with food every like 3 hours or something.
Sure.
And if I need something to drink, I get something to drink there.
Good.
Yeah, just a wonderful experience. And who knows? I mean, it could be the last time I do a playoffs because I don't know if they're ever going to be this close again. But I will say that
Eh,
the announcers were like, "Will you come and do this tournament?" In fact, the head announcer of the MRDA slash WFTDA Super weekend is still looking for announcers, and it was pushing us, to come down to Dallas to do that. And it's like, oh, that I would love to, but man, I don't. I think that this tournament is the only thing I'm going to be doing in the postseason. But I would love to. If I
well,
suddenly,
hey, you never know if you don't apply.
no, you're right, but it's like if I suddenly say won the lottery, there's a good chance it could happen.
Well,
But
do you play the lottery? You
I
should
don't. I don't.
start.
I
I
do
had
play.
that conversation the other day.
Yeah, I do
So
play
it's
once in
like,
a while, but it's like, it's only when it's big money, and I know the chances are less. So, but yeah, that was just a great weekend. I really felt, the funny thing is I was having some teeth problems before I went up, and I didn't have anything the whole week I was there. The whole weekend I was there, I had no
well, that's
issues.
great.
Yeah, I had no, I have no issues. Of course,
You gotta tell me what this comment was or whatever.
what's that? The
You mentioned like the chat. What happened in the chat that upset you, or what was
Oh,
said?
okay. So that was from this was from the juniors tournament that was in January. And
Oh,
I
okay,
think I may have mentioned this before. I was talking about, hey, if this game gets done, we can watch the Bills game because it was like a game that should have been done by 4 o'clock and the Bills were
sure.
playing. And they said, why don't you just shut up and go watch the Bills game? We don't need to hear you or something like that. That's the
Oh, I
comment.
mean, yeah, I would have been like, okay, cool, right, like, all right, I will.
It was
But
like I wasn't going to leave. I was just kind of like,
obviously,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. So that was the comment. That was back in January. I might have mentioned it before, but
oh, I
uh,
thought it was something from this past weekend.
no, no. The only thing from this weekend that I saw that was a comment was people knowing who I was. So that was I did
Oh,
not
so
look.
it was good stuff. You weirdo. I thought something got it said this
No,
past weekend.
no, no. I did not. But I didn't look at it either. See,
Oh,
I
I
didn't
gotcha.
I didn't realize it, but I had a free. I could have watched the playoffs with the chat rooms and everything all weekend, but I didn't because they sent us an email saying, "Oh yeah, and if you're working it, you have free access to the videos and everything of all the games." And so I didn't I may have seen that, but I might have just put it out of my mind because I don't think I really want to look at. But they'd have to look at the chats on their phones while we were doing the commentary of the
Gotcha.
game. So it's like I don't need another distraction. I'm already, two sheets to the wind. Or no, I mean my brain's fried already, just trying to, say what I'm seeing in front of me. So yeah, I tried not to, but I'm sure there were some nice things in there. I'm never going to go back and look at them either. So, so
Right.
coming back, so there now I'm coming back to the country, and I had to go back to work, and then I got the worst toothache like crazy.
Right.
Coming back, all of a sudden it started bothering me as I was driving back, and I went to work on Monday, but it was just bothering me the whole day. And so I took Tuesday off. And then Wednesday I went to see my dentist and he ripped it out of my mouth because it was like, it's one I've had problems with before. And so it's like, so now it's not in pain anymore. So that's great, but
That's
I
good.
want, you can only rip so many out before you start looking bizarre. Thank God it was in the back, but yeah. So that was, and then my mom came home that week after I had my tooth taken out. But my brother ended up going to the hospital, and he ended up having bronchitis or something, and he was hospitalized, and he didn't come home till last
You
Monday.
guys just can't catch a break
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah.
huh?
It's I've been up there way too many times, so, but so I'm kind of shooting forward to last weekend. Last weekend, we had a double header. Rock City roller derby at the Dome, the Minette Hall. It was Steel City was coming to town, and Steel City's A's and B's. Their B's are the Blitzburg Bombers, and but it's their 20th year. We were going to have them on before, and I felt like I dropped the ball big time on that.
I
And
mean, we still can.
I'm sorry,
Uh,
Allie McKill, because I talked to her at the game, and I didn't really like try. I didn't bring up that like we had set them to come on because they were going to come on with a bunch of skaters to talk about their 20th year and everything.
right.
We can still do that. That's true, but I felt bad because it's like it got just last week with all the things that were going on. I just didn't have time to do a show last week. You know, having my tooth taken out, being, I was sick for a day because I was in such agony from it. And then, and then my mom coming home and stuff like that. So nevertheless, I don't mean to complain about anything. I'm
Oh, it's
happy.
all good, man. You got enough going on. I get it.
Yeah, so I am happy and doing fantastic now. Mom's home. My brother's home as well. He's home finally. So, and and they're doing great. This has been a big week. I had last Friday is like probably the most intensive day of work for the full year. It's Flag Day where I have to play roadie for three. I have to break down and set up three different sound systems during the day as we go from school to school doing this sing along program with K through 3 students for like 8 to 11 songs. And so that was, having the week I had last week, and that's how I ended on Friday was doing that. I was spent when I got out of work on Friday. There was just,
Right.
I wasn't doing anything. I was like, but everything went well with that. So thank God. And then, of course, that Friday was the last day of school for seniors. And so now school ended technically this past Tuesday for or the high school at least did. And I still have another week of school with the K through 8th grade. So, but I've been it's been kind of busy, but now it's going to slow down a little bit for summertime, at least a little bit.
Right.
But this weekend is graduation, and I'm going to be a marshal at the graduation. I got nominated by somebody, and that means
Nice.
I get to wear a gown and a hood, they call them, the things.
Sure.
And it's on Father's Day, which my daughter's not too thrilled with me because she's been doing the Father's Day breakfast thing for the last couple of years, and I haven't had graduation on Father's Day the last couple of years. But we're gonna get together, and my son's gonna cook out for us on Sunday night. So I'm looking forward to that. And I gotta tell you now, I'm sorry if this bothers anybody. This is like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. In the last like the year or two, 10 years. Okay. This is a terribly sad story. I'm on my way, and that's nothing that happened to me or anything. I'm on my way last Saturday to going to Rock City to get set up for the games and everything. And I'm coming down one of our major highways, 590 South. I'm just about past Empire Boulevard, and I see a dead duck on the expressway, and I
Oh
see like
no.
14 babies being flattened by cars on the highway, and there's nothing we can do about it. It's like
Yeah.
the mother must have like walked the kids out in the middle of the highway and got hit. And it's like they were running in every different direction and they were just getting run over by cars. And it was just
Well,
like horrifying.
yeah, keep that to yourself next time,
Yeah.
Cash.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I
that's a bummer, man.
yeah, I know that is a bummer. And that's on my way to the game. So it's like, oh God, I
Right.
just saw the
Yeah.
worst thing ever.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I know. That's a bummer. So, but I don't know if I was going to tell that story or not, but it's like,
Yeah, you shouldn't
sorry if
have.
if I'm a jerk there. I might just cut it out in the long run.
That's
But
funny.
I've talked
Uh,
an awful lot. So,
yeah, man.
how
All
about
good.
you? How you been doing the last couple weeks?
Good, good. Always busy doing a bunch of stuff. I don't know, in no particular order. Well, in some particular order, I guess. We went to the Spencerport Carnival going back a few weeks. We went and met H&L and Luna. And I have what Mike, her husband's name is.
Yep.
So we met them out. They really love Anderson. It's really cool to see them all interact. It was the first time that Anderson's really been like big enough to do like rides, and he can like hold himself up and he can enjoy some of these like little kiddie rides. So he went on a couple of rides. He went on one with mom, and then he went on a couple of rides with Luna and had a good time. And just really great to see him like being a real human and not just like, a noisy, smelly, sleepy thing that lays there. I will say I am absolutely mourning him being a baby, but
Yeah.
yeah, it is very cool to see otherwise. So that was a lot of fun. This past Thursday, we went, Jennifer and myself went and saw Coheed and Cambria for like the 20th time. I don't know. We love those guys. They're always really good. And what's very cool is they played at Riverworks here. So, it's Um, a smaller venue, I've seen Coheed play some pretty big stuff before, and being able to see them in such a small venue where you can get kind of up close was really, really cool. It's a general admission venue, which is very cool. The last time I saw them, while I did have like a box, you're still pretty far away, even in a box. So, always awesome. Coheed is always so good. Um, Working at the bowling alley still, of course, working just a ton as a whole. This week has been, speaking of working, I will say this week kind of sucks. All my stuff is breaking. And then last night while I was at work doing a catering event like I do sometimes, there ended up being a huge leak in my transmission oil pan or whatever. So I had to figure that out and get the car to Monroe Muffler. And it is currently in the shop because they couldn't get it worked on today because I just sort of dropped it off on them. Blah, blah, blah. So my coffee maker also broke this week. So I'm feeling that for sure. One of the most important things in my life is my coffee maker. Um, my phone is old as hell and getting ready to fail pretty much. So I'm having like a very annoying week when it comes to things like breaking on me or needing to spend money, which is annoying. But a lot of good stuff otherwise. Like I had said, we're having a good time at the bowling alley doing that extra work. This past weekend, I got to work the Machine Gun Kelly concert with Wiz Khalifa at Darien Lake. Um, More so of his hip hop than his pop punk type stuff. I'm a fan of Machine Gun Kelly. So it was pretty cool. This was primarily like one of his like rock concerts, so it was him playing guitar and singing and not rapping, stuff like that. But still a reasonably cool show. Always
Hey,
cool to get to work shows for people that you like.
did I see Wiz Khalifa came out and did a couple songs with him?
Well, he was the he. I think they at least did one song together because they have a song together called "Mind of a Stoner." But
Yeah,
he also was Wiz Khalifa was direct support, so he opened the show too.
very cool.
Yeah, um, dude played for like an hour and a half. It was really unbelievable. Kind of shocking, but and he played like 41 songs. Of course, he's not playing all the whole song. But yeah, unbelievable. That's a ton of songs.
Yeah.
What else did we do? So we went and met Spencer Brown, one of the offensive linemen for the Buffalo Bills here. He is a very nice guy. There was a free card show in Buffalo. And Spencer Brown specifically is important to us because Anderson's Build-A-Bear that has a Bills jersey on it is called Spencer Brown Bear. And I will tell you why that is. And it's mostly just because the Buffalo Bills do not have very creative names that you can like turn into bear puns or anything like that. So there was really no like really funny or really witty names that I could come up with. I even like tried to like Google stuff and like chat GPT it, like come up with like take a look at the Bears roster and then come up with like some really good, interesting names. And they were awful. None of them were funny. So we went with Spencer Brown Bear, whatever. So we got to meet Spencer Brown and we got to tell him that he was ended up being, a relatively important person in our household because of Spencer Brown Bear and so on. And yeah, we got a great picture. He signed a football. I've got a couple of current Bills players autographs on a football that I got in a nice case. So that's pretty cool. I don't know, man. Other than that, it's honestly been kind of business as usual, just working a lot as always. I will say I'm very excited. I recently got tickets for Sarah Bareilles, who I'm a big fan of, who um has had some amazing albums. She wrote Waitress the musical, starred in it. She actually just wrote another musical recently that's coming out. Phenomenal. Um, I'm gonna say it's funny to me to talk about seeing Coheed and Cambria and then getting tickets for Sarah Bareilles on the same show, but that is very um, very much who I am as a music fan, you know. So I'm really excited for those tickets. It's in Philly, but I've only seen her one other time, and it was amazing then. So I'm just really excited for it.
That's a show
Um,
you and I were both at that I did not
oh,
know.
the fray, yeah, we like
Yeah.
partied in like the VIP thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I got all hammered that night. I think I did a bunch of cocaine that night too.
Oh my goodness.
But this is
I
going back quite a while. So yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was
I was,
relatively
I
memorable.
was
So.
hanging out with a politician and Pete Kennedy drinking free beer at the bar and
Nice.
watching. I think there was football on. I shouldn't say football. Oh, I don't want anyone to get mad at me. There was football on the TV behind us, so we
Well,
were
why don't you just go watch football then, Cash?
okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, just preparing for our bout coming up here
Yeah,
next weekend in Pittsburgh. So I'm looking forward to it. It's been a little while since we've played our friends in Pittsburgh. We had some great battles with them in the past. We had a really strong rivalry going for a while. Not so much now with the size league that they are. You know, they do a lot of higher level tournaments that we're not necessarily involved in. So it'll be good to get after it and play them again. We are going to play their B team, the Zombies. So that'll be it should be a good game. I'm excited to see how it turns out. There's a scrimmage after that some of us have signed up for and are participating in as well. So that'll be cool to get to play with a lot of our friends and a lot of people who have been on the show. But yeah, right. As far as that goes, that's like rounding out our sanctioned games for the year. So unless something changes relatively soon, I think that might be it for sanctioned games for the year for us. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm excited. It's been a little while, so we're gonna go down there and we'll spend the night on Saturday, next Saturday, and then we'll stay through Sunday and maybe check out the zoo or go to the Children's Museum or something. So.
is Rad playing with them?
Yeah, he should be playing, so
Get to
we'll
play
see
against
how that goes.
Rad there.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean Red's a very good derby player, so it'll be fun and annoying to play against him. So
He's like
uh,
family, right? You know.
yeah, sort of.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like well, that's cool. That's awesome.
Well,
You know, it's
yeah,
like, that's that, yeah. And then, July 4th is coming in no time, you know?
dude, it is right around the corner. I'm gonna say I'm turning 40 next month and I'm having like decision paralysis. I really want to I don't know what I want to do to celebrate. And then I also still don't know if I'm like going to summer affair or what. I'm signed up for summer affair, but I don't know if I'm going or not. To
Okay.
be fair, I'm not sure if Summer Affair knows if it's going on or not. So we'll see how that shakes out. I don't know anything, but you know they've certainly had some setbacks with personnel internally and externally. So we'll
Yeah.
see how things shake out. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a
I
little
am
bit,
very
yeah,
indecisive. I'm having decision paralysis, Cash. I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie.
I was gonna say, it's interesting. Summer Fair usually they have like the great social media building up to the event and everything, and it hasn't been quite up to par this past year.
Yeah, so it's just like I said, sort of like a personnel issue for them. You know, they're sort of going through it right now, and this is, you know, all my love to my friends in Cleveland, but they are yeah, they are going through it. So I'm thinking of them. I love those guys. I know it's not easy. I know, you know, they're experiencing a lot of the same stuff that we deal with up here in Rochester. So yeah, fingers crossed that they're doing all right. I want Summer Affair to succeed. I just don't know if I'm going to be there this year or not. So we'll
Gotcha,
see how it
gotcha.
shakes out. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we've probably done enough talking. We can slip in an interview
I do
or
have
some
some
songs.
scores. I do have
Yeah, why don't we hit some scores before we get out of here?
Yeah, let me go to my scores. So
Yeah,
this
sounds
is
great.
we have so interest check this out. This is from last weekend. This is the closest bouts. There was a branch of the WFTDA playoffs going on last weekend, and some of these games are in there, including this first one, which was a 1 point game with Paris scoring 143 over Crime City 142.
Wow.
Crime City is hosting the WFTDA championships this year.
Yeah.
So I think that they made the cut too in the playoffs, but that's crazy. A 1 point game, and then we have Minnesota losing to Naptown 147 to 146. 1 point game, another heart stopper. We had Loam
Are you
beating.
getting arrested real quick? I've seen like red and blue lights flash up on your face a couple of times
Oh,
now. Are
yeah.
you watching Cops or something?
No, I'm watching. I have TNA on, and there's like flashing lights as someone's coming out.
Oh,
So
okay.
I try to keep a bright TV because it's like dark out right now.
Oh
Very.
yeah, no, you're great. It's just specifically like I've seen red and blue lights a couple of times, and it looks like the cops are outside your house ready to burst down the door or something.
I
But
didn't do it. I
I,
swear, I didn't do
uh,
it. So we got like I said, Loam beating Stockholm 165, 161, and then London beating Loam 145 to 137. And we had Hard Knocks 151 over Gainesville 137. Gem City beating Akron 126 to 111. And biggest upsets, we had Atlanta's Rumblebees losing to River Rats 211 to 135. We had Minnesota beating Madison 166 to 121. And I believe Toulouse women's won the WFTDA divisional playoff there last weekend, and they beat Rainey 149 to 119. And then Toulouse beat Paris 168 to 140. We had Liverpool, and these were all upsets. Liverpool over Wiltshire 142 to 92. And then I mentioned the Naptown already. This weekend, we got a bunch of games. We have a VCRD Venom at Cincinnati this weekend. Salt City at Bay State Brawlers, our friends from Salt City. By the way, when I was up there, I saw my friends from Salt City. Slay West, I saw came up for the last day of champs or divisional
sure.
playoffs up in.
Slay's been on the show. It was a million years ago, but
I
Slay
know
was on the show.
my brain's fried, but Slay was telling me about all the games coming up, including against Bay State Brawlers on the 20th. We've got Dust City Rollers at Regensburg, Gorge at Mount Rocky Mountain, as well as the DRD Standbys too are playing Gorge, and then those are all pretty much the games to watch. We had one men's score from last week, and that would be a whirl beating the Brummies with 346 to 85. And this weekend, Yalhalla is playing the Rangers, and the Rangers are picked to be Yalhalla. I saw that our friend Guillotine Grace is retiring. Did you?
Yeah, I think they've had enough injuries, I believe. So she's gonna hang it up. But I believe what this weekend is IHOD, the International House of Derby in St. Louis.
That's right. That's right. And that there's a lot of mix-up teams in there. I saw the schedules and everything.
I
So there's
think there's B teams, not mix-ups. I
oh,
think
is it
there's
B teams?
those
Okay.
are B teams. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. So yeah, there's a lot of a lot of
Yeah,
games.
there's plenty of A teams and B teams. I think I think each team basically um is bringing a B team, and then I know the Guardians are involved as well. So
I did see the Guardians were going down there. So, yeah, our friends down there in St. Louis. I miss
I
those
love those
guys.
guys.
I
Yeah,
haven't seen
most
those
definitely.
guys. Yeah, I haven't seen them in forever. Anybody. So, uh,
Sure.
yeah, the IHOT Invitational. I love some of the uh,
Social media.
yeah, the social media with the teams, the pictures
Yeah.
for each of
No,
the
they've been doing
teams.
a lot of really good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the
Shout
beekeepers
out
are playing.
to the gatekeepers and their social media. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
there's some
sure.
great games, man. The Rebels versus Yalhalla,
Yeah, I mean
Gatekeepers, Wrecking
we get a
Balls.
replay of gatekeepers and concussion.
Yeah, that's gonna be some fantastic
I
stuff
was
going
gonna
on.
say this is like the rubber match basically. We had We had concussion winning at champs. Then we had the gatekeepers beating them earlier this year at a different event that I'm forgetting, so this is like the rubber match.
And I believe they're streaming all the games too. So
Should be, yeah, go follow St. Louis Gatekeepers on all your social media.
yeah, it's on their YouTube, the St. Louis Gatekeepers Media. That if you go to the YouTube, all these games will be on there. I want to see the Rangers, Gatekeepers versus Yalhalla as well. So Yalhalla's not quite the same team they were last year, I think, but they are nothing to
But
bat an
beast
eye
for
at.
sure.
Yeah, and then you got concussion at Yalhalla. You got the Beekeepers and
It's going to
Brawlhalla.
be a
So
great weekend for the MRDA. Definitely check it out.
you got definitely a great schedule. So that's all I have for news at least, and
Awesome.
I'm sure there's
Oh,
more.
I'm sure. Go. Google's free, MFers. Go Google it. Figure it
Yeah.
out. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. You might hear a song or two, or maybe a clip of an interview. Who knows? But we'll see you soon. We love you guys. We're gonna get out of here. You're listening to Derby Rocks